Are you ready for some football? Sunday night NFL on ESPN. The Washington Redskins travel out to Tempe, Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Coverage beginning at 7:30 p.m. with NFL Countdown, taking you right up to kickoff at 8:15 p.m. Then join ABC Sports tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for Monday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys take on the New York Giants. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime NFL football.
See Bill Elliott, the McDonald's onboard cameras. Elliott rides along in the 40th position. He's 4th position. He's only 3 3/4 seconds behind the leader, but obviously not exactly the way he would like to have his day going.
Bill started back in 38th position, a two-time winner here at Talladega. Now, we're talking about the pit strategy. A lot of discussions, I'm sure, ongoing down on pit road. Let's check in down there with Bill Weber.
And, Jerry, they began a few laps ago, but some very interesting situations right here. Steve Neal was down in the Tony Stewart pit talking to his crew and crew chief Greg Zipadelli. And right after he left, Jimmy Elledge from Kenny Wallace's team came down here, and they started talking. In the meantime, Neal went next door and talked to Bobby Kennedy from Michael Waltrip's team. Obviously, you want to pit with partners, but one thing to keep in mind here, the inexperienced guys want to try and pit with guys that have done this a lot of times. And if there's been one average grade for Tony Stewart this season, it has been his pit stop routine. That's something they've worked on very hard with him. They'd like him to follow veterans on and off of pit road. We'll see what happens. A lot of deal making and a lot of deal breaking ahead.
Tony Stewart has just been content riding along behind Jeff Gordon for a while. That's a smart thing to do. He can learn a lot riding behind Jeff Gordon. Staying up there keeps him out of trouble as well.
Talk about making a pit stop. Did you see Jeff Gordon make that pit stop in Charlotte last week when he pulled out on the inside of Mike Skinner? He must have been 8 car lengths behind Skinner going in turn 3 and closed and actually pulled alongside him as they entered pit road. Made up a tremendous amount of distance just coming into the pits.
A pit stop that won in the race.
Very possibly could have won in the race.
All right, the roof camera for the Lowe's Home Improvement Chevrolet for Mike Skinner. Started back in 26th position, now being shown in the 8th spot. Kenny Irwin to his right. Right in front of him. Single file. Whoa, Earnhardt trying to go to the outside of the car he owns. That is Steve Park.
4 wide going into the turn.
Can I look yet?
I don't know. These cars, they're not handling quite as good now as they were when those tires were newer, so they have to be even more careful now than they were in the beginning.
Sterling Marlin going for the lead. Jeff Gordon has led this thing for quite a while. Tony Stewart, what did he just know? He dove down between Michael Walker. Oh, what an aggressive move on Tony Stewart's part.
Just barely enough room. You got to give Tony Stewart's spotter a call. He must have said clear low, and Tony went immediately to the left. No turn signal or nothing. Left-hand turn at 190 miles an hour, and Tony Stewart will hang on. And we have a car in the wall. A car that has come into contact with the wall.
Out, everything's clear.
Andy Hillenburg.
Wave them off. Car hit the wall coming off for them.
Andy Hillenburg in the car, number 91, has come into contact with the concrete. Doesn't seem to be that significant in the Joe Falk Chevrolet, but that will bring out caution for the first time.
Stay above the second groove.
On lap 48.
Back. Stay up above the second groove there, okay?
I realize that.
I'll have to translate that. He's breaking up. I can't hear him. He said stay above the second groove.
They were telling Dale Jarrett where to stay on the racetrack in case there's debris from.
Track looks clear. Come into pit road now. I'm in front of the 16, right? In 4. 26 car, DJ. There's a car that's pitting in front of us. Yeah, I'm talking about here on the track.
All right.
Make sure pit
Pits are
road's
still
up.
closed. We'll come back for the pit stops right after this. Back from Talladega.
A full field pit stop under caution here at Talladega. Tony Stewart is on pit road. 1 pound in the right front. They warned him to stop short. Make sure you have the wheels straight. His gauges are good. They want to pull a piece of tape off the front grille. He's getting 4 tires and fuel to John Kernan.
Jeff Gordon says his car is awesome. awesome. He didn't want to change a thing. It'll be a 4-tire change for him. Also, Sterling Marlin, the leader. 4 tires. Gordon's crew finished. Now Ray Dunlap.
4 tires and fuel for Dale Earnhardt. No changes here. They stopped him a little bit short in the pit box because they knew the 75 car would be in late. Earnhardt is down and away and back out. His one big concern is trying to get Steve Park to run with him.
Martin had a problem. He had to pack up. He was actually boxed in his pits. That cost him some valuable time. Under the caution flag, but track position very, very important here. We saw Sterling Marlin have a great pit stop. And the car number 40 as he came out right in front of Jeff Gordon. First caution flag today. There's a look at Sterling Marlin in the car number 40, the Coors Light Chevrolet Felix Sabates-owned machine. First caution flag today brought out a moment ago by a contact with the wall for the car number 91 of Andy Hillenburg. Back with more from Talladega in a moment. Back at Talladega Superspeedway, still working the first caution flag of the day. We'll show you what happened on lap 48 to bring out the first yellow flag. Car number 91, top of your screen, Andy Hillenburg.
Comes off turn 4, and all of a sudden the car just goes up and brushes the wall. And we heard Dale Jarrett talk about the front end skating or sliding off the corner, and then I think that's what happened to Andy Hillenburg. He came off the corner and just kind of slid that right front right in the wall.
It looked that way, and DJ was running on the low side of the racetrack, and I think that's what he was afraid of, is just maybe scooting up into the wall when he came off to the corner with the car that way.
And speaking of DJ, we will listen in once again with what was their instructions going on during this caution flag between he and the spotter and Todd Parrott, the crew chief.
Okay, DJ, you'll be coming around the 26 car, okay? 5 car, he should be gone when we're done, okay? Okay, on down here, around the 26, stay out, stay out, stay out, around the 26, right over here, right over here. Wheels straight now, stay right there, straight. Go. After 23, after 23.
Very calm instructions by Todd Parrott, telling his driver who he stays with during the pit stops.
Racetrack up there, do they know that?
You know, when he came back,
I don't think they do.
when Dale Jarrett was coming
But
in,
before, there's stuff laying in the track up in Upper Creek.
debris on the racetrack. So I'm sure that Todd Parrott now will relay that information to, they're giving the signal 1 lap to go.
Playing on forward, Dale said. Crash.
Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Okay, you heard and watched Dale Jarrett's pit stop. So they continue to chat on the radio. Basically, they pulled a full rubber out of the right rear tire. They went 3 rounds down on the track bar and went 1 pound down on both of the front tires on the 88 car. So they're hoping that will improve the handling of Dale Jarrett's Ford. He restarts in about the 31st position, sacrificing track position maybe for a little better handling car.
Boy, that is a major amount of changes on a pit stop at the Talladega Superspeedway.
That's huge. A rubber track bar adjustments.
Spencer wants you to look at his left rear and see if it's flat.
Hank, go get me a set of 20 bleed shocks for the front of this motherfucker.
Signal the lights off the top of the pace car, going back to green flag in just a second.
52 laps are complete of 188. Sterling Marlin being shown as our leader. He was the first off of pit road. This being, if you just joined us, the very first pit stop of the day for the field. The caution flag brought out by the car number 91, Andy Hillenburg. Let's check in the Ricky Rudd pits with John Kernan.
A slow pit stop for Ricky Rudd. He dropped him all the way back to the 28th spot. They took on 4 tires, no changes, but they did have a problem with the right rear, so that slowed him down several seconds. One other note, the 22 car of Ward Burton and the 28 car of Kenny Irwin Jr. made contact on pit road, but the spotters have looked the cars over, and they say everything should be all right. To Ray Dunlap.
Well, John, Mark Martin had to make a big swing to get around Kenny Schrader to get into his pit box, and he had a bad angle coming in. That's why he had to back out and to get back out on pit road. They had a 15.3-second pit stop. He came in 22nd, went out 22nd.
Getting set for the restart. Restart on lap 54. The caution out for the first time today for 5 laps. You see Sterling Marlin pulling away.
You might think that's an advantage, Jerry, but that is not an advantage because Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart will get a run down the backstretch and pull Sterling Marlin and say, where did they go?
That's right. He'll be a sitting duck. Just not careful. On most any other racetrack, that would be a big advantage.
Sterling pulling all the way down to the inside. That conga line behind him. Single file down the 4,000-foot back straightaway. Takes about a lap to come up to speed. They should be coming out of turn 4 at about 170 miles an hour now. As Benny commented, here they come. They will inhale Sterling Marlin Chevrolet. We're about 10 car lengths back, and Jeff Gordon will take the lead.
Now, Jeff Gordon, he needs to file it back in his plane. A restart with just a couple of laps to go. He said, okay, I need to be 6 car lengths behind because I'll catch him just when I get to the start-finish line.
Let's check in the pits with John Kernan. John?
Listening to you guys talk about Sterling getting that good jump at the restart was deja vu all over again because his spotter told him, Sterling, that doesn't look too good. You got too much of a jump on them. They're going to team up in the draft, and they're going to blow right by you. And Sterling's like, yep, I know.
Skinner and Dale Earnhardt, teammates down on the bottom of the racetrack. They tried to turn under Kenny Irwin, the Texaco car, so Kenny said, hey, you guys think you're so fast, I'm just going to push me along. As Terry Labonte also trying to get a push from these guys.
They are back in 10th and 11th position. Gordon, our leader. Tony Stewart in second spot. Front row, Joe Nemechek, our pole sitter, is third. Michael Waltrip, fourth. Sterling Marlin been shuffled back to 5th position.
Looks like the outside line is one that's moving best right now. But Kenny Wallace in the car number 55 is going to try to change that. He has his brother Rusty right on his back bumper to try to push him up through there.
Time by Jeff Gordon ran 193.4 miles per hour.
Kenny Irwin sneaking a peek up high. There is Bobby Hamilton. Bobby Labonte looking beneath the 2 car of Rusty Wallace. And here comes the Pennzoil Chevy of Steve Park, who made that charge from 35th to 3rd in the first 20 laps. Now another charge on the inside of Bobby Labonte.
Bobby slides up in front of Bobby Hamilton in the 4 car and gives Park room down on the inside.
There's Rich Bickle, the yellow car, right in the middle of the group. There he is, 3 wide in the middle.
He's been running that middle of the groove quite a bit. He was back in the pack doing that many, but it seems to be working for him.
That time by, he was running 21st position. All right, Earnhardt's going to try his favorite spot in the middle. Couldn't get that to work.
Kenny Wallace, a square D Chevrolet right up in front of Earnhardt. Now here comes Steve Park, and he has a strong race car. That number 1, the Pennzoil car, goes breezing by Rusty Wallace and takes Ward Burton with him.
They just make it look so easy. They just pull out and pass, but it's not quite that easy. They got to have a partner first of all to help with the draft and get a good run.
Rusty all the way down on the edge of the racetrack, down on that yellow line, nearing the track apron, just trying to be able to possibly block some of that train going by, and Rusty is going backward. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, Rusty was loose early and then tightened up as the run went along. They decided not to make any changes, but they do know something they're not going to do next time they come to Talladega.
Low side clear, low side clear.
Rusty is very unhappy with the front shocks on his car. They can't do much about it now, but he said make sure we never run these shocks again.
They talked about in happy hour last night about changing from shocks, and looks like that Rusty did in fact change those shocks, and right now I say to myself, that was a mistake. Look, Rusty Wallace in jeopardy of losing the draft from this front group.
Rusty Wallace backsliding here in the field. 58 laps are complete of 188 in the Winston 500. Jeff Gordon is our leader.